June 18th, 2026. Here's our momentum for a daily perspective on the NASDAQ. Still holding upward momentum. Here's our volume down here. Volume is kind of dying off while the momentum is pulling to the upside. And we are almost at all-time highs, and we're doing good. Everything's doing fine. This is not a downtrend yet. It'll be a downtrend. It'll be an official kind of reversal when we break below these moving averages here, but that's not happening now. And for now, we're just fighting and sustaining this upward momentum that's been carrying us forward for a little bit over 2 or 3 months now. And let's get into the alignments that occurred today and go over the trades that you could have taken. We're going to be looking at a 1-minute execution time frame today. You can use a 2-minute execution time frame as well for this strategy in NASDAQ, NQ, futures, or just the stock market in general. I prefer a 2-minute chart most of the time. But we're gonna go over why the 1 minute is also valuable, and where the discretion comes in. So let's just start with the market open. We're here at market open. We have our critical levels marked out. The purple lines are weekly critical levels, and then these two blue lines are the previous day's lows and the pre-market low. And then here we have previous day's high and the pre-market high. So we have all of these critical levels planned out, and we open the market here with a upward momentum on a 1 hour. That's our dominant trend. Our dominant momentum flow is going up at market open. Now we wait for the 15 to start expanding with that. We wait for 15-20 minutes to see if it starts to happen. We're going to skip forward in time here. See how it hasn't caught up yet? It's still going down. But if you go forward in time a little bit, now it's building to the upside. See that? And now it's concluded. Now it's printed that first official increase in momentum on a 15. So now the alignment between the 1 and the 15 has occurred. Now we look to the 5s. Do we have alignment with the 5s? Yes, both the 5-minute regular hours, 5-minute extended hours, they're in the green. That's good. So now we go to our execution time frame. Can we find an entry, a realignment in the momentum? Yep, it's right here. So we wait for all of these to align, and then we wait for the next alignment to occur on our execution time frame. And look how the 2-minute leads to a loss and how the 1-minute leads to a win. Look at this. So this is the alignment here. Why? Because our momentum is going down and then we pop back up to the upside. That is the alignment. That is the momentum creating asymmetrical distribution of probabilities. So if you were to enter here, if you were to use your stop loss like I teach at the base of this candle, then you never would have achieved a 1-to-1. It never made it that high. It would have come down. That would have been a loss. That's all right. That happens. But let's, instead of the 2-minute execution time frame, let's look at the 1 minute and see if we can see a difference. So do you see the momentum going down? Look at this, down, 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 down. And that first realignment in momentum happens right here at 9:17. And this would have been a win if you enter at the close of the candle. You put your stop loss at the base of that candle, or maybe slightly above or below, depending on how you're feeling, how you're judging the situation. Then yes, this would have hit the 1-to-1. That would have been a win. So look at the difference between the 1-minute and the 2-minute chart. I prefer to use the 1-minute chart during the first hour of the market. And look, we're in the first hour of the market right here. That's why I do, and that's why I kind of notice that pattern, is that your execution time frame needs to match the level of relative volatility. So as things get slower and slower in later hours of the day, then the 2-minute chart and the 3-minute chart and the 5-minute chart, those start to be better for executions. So as volatility increases, your execution time frame needs to adjust as well in a lot of cases. Let's look at the next alignment that might have occurred today. This trade happens, it's a win on a 1-minute time frame. Then we come down, we're watching the momentum to see if it pulls back, and sure enough it does right here. Sells off, realigns to the upside right here. If you would have done the same strategy, this could have also been a win. Absolutely could have been a 1-to-1 win, 1-to-2, 1-to-3. Look how far this ran. This kept going. In fact, it never actually came back. That was like a 1-to-10 win right there, had you allowed for that to keep running. Now let's look on the 2-minute chart, see if we see an entry on the 2-minute chart. The 2-minute entry would have been right here. See? Down, 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 realignment. And that realignment would have occurred here. And would this have been a win? Let's see. We would have entered at this close of the candle, stop loss at the base of the candle. Yes, it would have hit a win. Absolutely would have been a 1-to-1 win. That was the next alignment that occurred today. What's an alignment? An alignment is where all the momentum is going the same direction at the same time. That's an alignment. When does the next alignment occur? Well, that was one right there. It's a weak alignment because the 5-minute is starting to die off. See how the 5-minute momentum is starting to die off? So you want to be cautious, but it's the same thing. Look at the momentum. Selling off, boom. We're near the middle line. That's a even greater sign of strength and potential. Selling off, boom. That we realign to the upside with the higher time frame momentum trend, and then you enter the close of the candle. Stop loss slightly below, and that hits that 1-to-1 as well. Good win. The market handed out a lot of wins today. Do we get another alignment? Well, look, the 5 minutes about to go into the red, so that's definitely, we're not taking trades there. We want it to be really expanding into the green or expanding in our direction. See that? We want this, not this. We want this. So by the time that happens, here we are, future in time. We've waited and we're playing the patient card, as all good traders do. And now the 5-minute is coming back into alignment with the 15 and the 1 hour. And what do we see? You see anything interesting here? Look at this. A realignment occurring. Selling off, boom, realignment. This happens at 11:22. This is on a 2-minute execution time frame, by the way. We're going to look at this on a 1-minute execution time frame as well. But this is the 2-minute execution time frame. And this trade would have taken over an hour to play out. Okay? Your entry is here at the close of the candle. Stop loss slightly below or at the base of the candle. This would have taken literally an hour for the win to happen, but it's a win nonetheless. Okay, now let's look. Do we have a different visual? This is later in the day now. Do we have a different visual on a 1-minute chart? What does it look like on a 1? The 1-minute chart would have had us enter here at 11:18, long time before this entry, right here. Would that have been a win? Ask yourself. The answer is, of course it would have been a win. Of course that would have been a win right there. Perfect 1-to-1. So far no losses today except for that first setup on a 2-minute chart. That would have been the only loss. Everything else continuing as normal. And we had one more to talk about, which was this one here. That would have been a loss as well. Why is this a valid entry? Because this is selling off and then it realigns to the upside, and when that realigns, look what's happening to our 5. Our 5 is expanding in the direction of this higher time frame momentum alignment. That is a valid setup right there and a valid loss. Remember, if you're using a 1-to-1 strategy, if you have a 60% win rate, you're doing really good. Okay? A 60% win rate. If you have a 50% win rate, you're not even losing money. So far we've got a lot of wins today and only 1 loss, and that was a second loss right there. So we're still even, or break even rather, or greater. We're still making money, or break even at the very worst case. And that's good. That's how you know it's a good strategy. 1 hour is going to stay in the green the rest of the day, but the 15 is getting close to crossing over. That's a significant event. Let's go to that 15 crossover right here. It's not happening yet. It's going to happen at the 145 mark. Now it's happening. 15 is crossing over. We're going to wait for that to conclude and print. And now it prints. Now that's concluded. Now we officially are in a bearish momentum potential. Now we want to wait for the 5 and the execution time frame to realign. And now remember when I was talking about how the later you get in the day, the more the 2-minute execution time frame makes sense? Now we're going to look at that together. So here we are. We've just gotten bearish permission. The bearish gate is open. The 15 is crossed over. Now we're going to wait for that first entry signal on the 1-minute chart and analyze it, which happens right here. We're going up, and now we fall down. We align with the higher time frame. It happens right there at specifically 151. Nope, not even. That's the wrong. It's the next minute. It's this one, which would have been a loss. It's a loss on a 1-minute time frame. Okay? Now, because we're taking shorts, right? So if you would have entered here as a short, it would have immediately gone up and hit your stop loss. That's a loss. Now we're going to look at what it would have looked like on a 2-minute execution time frame. Oh, there's no entry yet. Look at that. It's still building. It's not time yet. The actual time happens here at 158. Let's see if that would have won. 158. 1-to-1 ratio would have hit. We've got profit target right here, or here, roughly. So that's a win. Another win. Very good. A lot of setups the market gave us today. And there was no other valid setups for the rest of the day. Why? Because by the time we get another realignment after this trade concludes, right? By the time we get another alignment entry signal, which is right here. Why? Because the momentum is going up, up, up. Now it falls down. By the time this happens, look what the 5 is telling you. The 5 is literally stepping up to against the trade. We want the 5 to be going with the trade. We don't want the 5 to be going against the trade in terms of momentum. So you would skip that position right there. You would skip that opportunity. And that was all of the trade setups that occurred today. All of the fractal alignments and momentum that occurred today on June 18th. And with that much being said, I will see you in the next one. Take care now.